John Harbaugh has had the ire of Ravens fans, the media, and many people for his decision-making in 2 of the last 3 losses of the Baltimore Ravens. A lot of people are questioning the way John Harbaugh has decided to go for it at the end of games. The Ravens were 8-3, and now they've lost 2 of their last 3 games after unsuccessfully going for 2 at the end of those games. That is against the Steelers, and it was this past week against the Green Bay Packers. So there's a lot of people that are questioning John Harbaugh's decision. They're saying he's relying too much on analytics, which John Harbaugh has put an emphasis on making sure analytics and that analytical approach is there in the building because it wasn't there for a long time. But to say that he solely relies on analytics is just untrue because it ignores the reality of what's going on. And the reality is John Harbaugh is one of the biggest coaches out there. Not a lot of people talk about him. Not a lot of people really mention him when we're talking about great coaches. But John Harbaugh is a great coach. Won a Super Bowl in the playoffs, like just countless amount of playoff wins. I believe he has a record for the amount of playoff wins for a coach in his first 5 years in the league. He's been a great coach. He's adapted. He's a special teams coordinator. He has a well-rounded understanding of both offense and defense, which makes him even better because he can relate to both. So as far as, saying that, he's a bad coach, I don't agree with a lot of that sentiment. I also don't agree with the fact that people are saying that these decisions for going forward for 2 are wrong. In the Steelers game, the context, I think, is totally missed by a lot of people. The Ravens had injured 2 of their cornerbacks in that game who were not going to return. One of them, Marlon Humphrey, their best cornerback on the entire team, the best cornerback on the entire team, went out for the season basically on the last drive before the Ravens went down and tied it, or would have tied it. And basically they didn't have a secondary to play with. So you were risking your defense, which had already been suspect up until then, definitely letting the other team score. And instead, he decided, let's go for 2. Let's win it right here. If we can't win it right here, maybe we don't deserve to win. And if we can't assert our dominance, and if we don't go for it here, then people are going to think we're weak. We want to prove. One thing he proved in that Steelers loss was we're not afraid of anyone. Win, lose, or draw, we're not afraid. And I think that's understood by many people around the NFL. The Ravens are not a team that's going to be afraid and get walked over. They're going to pull punches as the entire time. They're going to keep on punching until they're knocked down. And that's what they did. They went for it. They had a chance. It didn't materialize. You move on to the Packers loss. And if you guys check out the audio from there, it's all over online. John Harbaugh went around to Tyler Huntley at the end of that Packers game and said, if we score a touchdown, do you want to go for it? You want to kick the field goal, go into overtime? Huntley said, let's go for it. We're going to win. Mark Andrews repeatedly went over to John Harbaugh and said, we're going for it. That's what we do. We're going for it. And it was almost like Mark Andrews was basically like, the team wants us to go for it. We're in the mood. We're in the zone. Let's go for it. On the other side, you have Aaron Rodgers. The team's been getting decimated by Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers. So in overtime, if Aaron Rodgers gets it, the game's over. Not going to stop Aaron Rodgers. So I think that it was the right decision in both instances because, again, it reiterates this idea that the Ravens are scared of no one. And yeah, you're going to lose sometimes like that. And they are fine with that because they are a team that lives by the sword. And when you live by the sword, sometimes you die by it too. They understand that. And it's not going to weaken their resolve. It adds a few losses to the win-loss column, but this is a team that's dealing with nearly 20 players on IR. This is a team that was dealing with their entire backfield days before the regular season started, being completely decimated. This is a team that it has somehow, some way, 3 weeks ago, was 8-3 and leading the conference even with all of those injuries. They're not scared of anyone. And these decisions to go for 2 prove it. And eventually, I'm telling you, they're going to go for 2 in one of these games and get it. And it's going to matter in one of the biggest moments. They might end up doing it in a playoff game, and it's going to matter. So, all this talk about John Harbaugh, again, John Harbaugh being a bad coach, all that stuff. If the Ravens win out, John Harbaugh's coach of the year. I'm sorry. I don't care if Matt LaFleur and the Packers win out and go, what is it, 13-4, whatever it is, or 12 or 14-3. I don't care if one of these other teams like the Patriots or the Chiefs go 13-4. John Harbaugh wins out, goes 11-6. He's coach of the year. The amount of injuries, the amount of week to week just upheaval of this football team, and the ability to keep it all together and make the playoffs and have a record like that would make him coach of the year. Absolutely, absolutely. Thanks for watching this video from Real Take Sports Talk. Remember to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever a new video is released. Also, remember to check out our live show every single Thursday at 8 p.m. right here on the YouTube channel. And remember, keep it real.